Raised in Huntsville and happen to be African American, there is a high likelihood you can trace your family tree back to one spot in town off the beaten path. Glenwood Cemetery on Hall Avenue sits on a former plantation. It's a vital piece of history a group of women from totally different backgrounds want to hold on to and restore. It's below the parkway, next to train tracks, tucked behind the West Huntsville Police Precinct. From the sky, you can see it. The beauty Glenwood Cemetery has to offer. But when you get closer, that's when the cracks start to show, quite literally. Crumbled, broken, and even sinking graves.
If we lose another headstone, we've lost another bit of our history, and we just can't afford to do it.
Established in 1870, Glenwood is the final resting place of many who were emancipated from slavery.
People sometimes don't know what a cemetery offers except to the loved ones, but there's a whole lot of history that you glean from all these headstones.
Penny Sumners is a retired principal and history teacher, which explains her passion. She's pouring it into Glenwood now to have it added to the National Registry of Historic Places to protect these grounds. And she isn't alone.
I don't have people here, but yet I do, because we're all part and parcel of humanity. And I think it's extremely important personally that we restore as much as possible of this wonderful cemetery.
You'll find what's left of C.C. Moore's plot, one of Huntsville's first African-American mail carriers, or Daniel Brandon, an alderman elected in 1880, and Dr. Burgess E. Scruggs, who was the first licensed African-American physician in Alabama. I learned more about them from this woman. So what is this down here?
Well, this started out just being my family museum or pictures, and lo and behold, we have just ended up with so many additions to it.
Cataloging and researching local Black history is Ollie Conley's project, and she's turned her entire basement into a museum.
You wanted to know more about these people. What did they do? What kind of life did they lead? And so from there to the library, and then, of course, to the courthouse, looking at documents to try to create a life for them.
This former principal started putting the pieces together at Glenwood in 1993, having her students document those buried here.
They accomplished so much with so little, and it also hopefully will inspire young people so that they can say, well, I can do that, or I can do even greater things.
You'll hear much more about Glenwood tomorrow at 4 when I sit down with these ladies, because there is a big event coming up this Saturday at Cumberland Presbyterian Church in Huntsville from 9 a.m. until 2. It's a Glenwood Preservation Genealogy Workshop where representatives will be on hand to do some on-the-spot ancestry research to see if you have ties to this cemetery. Again, all part of an effort to get Glenwood added to the National Registry of Historic Places. And then coming up later this hour, we'll also hear about a new effort to improve neglected Madison County Cemetery.